And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday on Spreaker Radio, Roar 1776 Radio, and MyCast Live Radio from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Also on 405 Media Radio on Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific Time, in addition to countless terrestrial stations worldwide. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Podomatic, and YouTube, where you can listen to my show 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day, simply by clicking on the little icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com, and you can call into my show if you just want to comment or engage me in conversation about anything. Call directly into the studio at 909-545-6516. Now, on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Now, on today's show, special segments are going to be with Dr. Stephen Tidwell, and he's going to be talking about tomorrow's dentistry today. And David Garrett presents Garrett on the Law. But right now, I want you to stand by for news. And at 3:05 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently 79 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, let's do the 10 things that you need to know for Friday. It's your daily look at the late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that'll be talked about all day today and tomorrow and over the weekend. First up is how Obama's decision to keep troops in Afghanistan impacts the presidential race. Well, you know, candidates now will be pressed to say how they'll try to end the protracted conflict and do what Obama could not. And U.S. suspicions may have led to deadly attack on the Afghan hospital. American special ops and analysts believe the site was being used by a Pakistani operative to coordinate Taliban activity, the Associated Press learns. And a lawyer says Hastert will plead guilty in a hush money case. The move by the ex-House Speaker could ensure that allegations of sexual misconduct are never revealed in public. And then, what's giving hope to families of victims of air tragedy? Prosecutors say they've identified 2 Libyans as suspects in the 1988 bombing of a Pan Am jet over Lockerbie, Scotland. And then, Nevada orders daily fantasy sports sites to shut down in their state. The decision comes amid a growing backlash of regulators who contend that sites like DanDuel and DraftKings should be regarded as gambling rather than games of skill. And Jeff Bush eclipsed by a GOP rival. The candidate raised $13.4 million over the summer for his Republican presidential bid, far less than political newcomer Ben Carson. And details emerge on Odom's stay at a brothel. The ex-NBA star spent about $75,000 for a 4-day stay in a VIP suite at the Love Ranch in rural Nevada and chose 2 women to accompany him. Wow, 75 grand. Who's getting ready to leave prison? Well, Oscar Pistorius, the double amputee Olympic runner who fatally shot his girlfriend on Valentine's Day 2013, will move to house arrest next week, South Africa's Corrections Department tells us just recently. And plenty of moisture is predicted for the United States. El Nino will bring a wet but not necessarily snowy winter this year, as much of the country, forecasters say. And finally, Vermont judge releases actor Randy Quaid and his wife from custody. The couple say they'll now address the 5-year-old criminal charges that they're facing in California. Well, you know what? Let's get into a little more in-depth with the news. First off, 4 Palestinians killed by Israeli fire in unrest and stabbing. Stone-throwing protests erupted across the West Bank and Gaza today, and assailants firebombed a site revered by Jews as the tomb of biblical Joseph on a day of rage against Israel. 4 Palestinians were killed by Israeli fire, including a laborer disguised as a journalist who stabbed an Israeli soldier. The UN Security Council convened an emergency meeting to discuss the escalation, which has been marked by a spat of Palestinian stabbing attacks and an Israeli security crackdown. Troops manned roadblocks in Arab neighborhoods of Jerusalem, a center of unrest, and ordered some Palestinian men to lift their shirts to show that they were not armed. The violence comes at a time when a possible partition of the land between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean into 2 states, Palestine alongside Israel, is fading. This has left many Palestinians frustrated because all paths to independence appear blocked. The tension has also been stoked by Palestinian fears that Israel's trying to expand its presence at a major Muslim-run shrine in Jerusalem, a claim Israel has denied. You know, gosh, I don't even know what to say. The unrest, the untrust, the hate, it just seems to keep going on and on and on. And doesn't it just make you sad? Because it certainly does me. Aren't you ready for peace on earth? Do we have to wait till December? Or beyond? I don't know. Well, Turkish jets shoot down a drone at its border with Syria. Turkey shot down an unidentified drone that flew into its airspace today near the Syrian border, while Russian President Vladimir Putin said his country's air campaign backing a Syrian government offensive has killed hundreds of militants. A U.S. official said the downed drone was Russian, but Moscow staunchly rejected that claim. The incident underlined the potential dangers of clashes involving Russia, Syrian, and U.S.-led coalition planes in the increasingly crowded skies over Syria. Russian and United States military officials have been working on a set of rules to prevent any problems. The Turkish military said it issued 3 warnings before shooting down the aircraft with its fighter jets. It didn't specify how it had relayed the warnings to the operators of the drone. The drone crashed 3 kilometers, that's about 2 miles, inside Turkish territory, said Foreign Minister Feridun Siniroglu. We have not been able to establish who the drone belongs to, but we are able to work on it because it fell inside Turkish territory, he added. Earlier this month, Turkey had protested 2 incursions by Russian warplanes, which also drew strong condemnation from Turkey NATO allies. You know, you know what, if they think they're going to get along, they are really, really mistaken. Now, don't go away. When we come back, I want to talk some more about a Clinton aide, Huma Abedin, who faces questions on the Benghazi attacks. And I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news. Well, you know what? I told you that we're going to talk about the Clinton aide, that's Huma Abedin, faces questions on the Benghazi attack. Well, you know, a special Republican-led House panel questioned a longtime aide to Hillary Rodham Clinton about the deadly 2012 attacks in Benghazi, Libya, despite Democrats' insistence that Huma Abedin had little knowledge about details of the terror strikes. Abedin, committee staff, and a few lawmakers met behind closed doors for several hours today at a session focused on the September 11th, 2012 attacks that killed 4 Americans, including U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens. Clinton, the front-runner for the Democratic presidential nomination, is scheduled to appear before the panel on Thursday in a widely anticipated public hearing. Representative Lynn Westmoreland, a Republican from Georgia, said questions to Abedin focused on the Benghazi attacks, but also touched on Clinton's use of a private email account and server while serving as Secretary of State. If it had something to do with Benghazi and an email then that was asked, if it wasn't about Benghazi, it wasn't asked, Westmoreland told reporters. The decision to question Abedin angered the panel's top Democrat, Representative Elijah Cummings of Maryland, and the Clinton campaign. She had no policy responsibilities, no operational responsibilities, and was not with Secretary Clinton on the night of this phenomenal tragedy, Cummings told reporters after breaking away momentarily from the day's proceedings. Abedin is vice chairwoman of Clinton's campaign and was a top State Department aide when Clinton served as Secretary of State. She also worked on Clinton's Senate office. In a statement, the campaign suggested that calling Abedin as a witness was a fresh sign of the panel's partisanship. Boy, tell me I'm not getting tongue-tied. What the heck is going on with that? Well, let's try this. Mud covers highways and strands drivers in Southern California. Can't find any rain, or water, but we found mud. Here's the deal. Rescuers threw ladders and tarps across mud up to 6 feet deep to help hundreds of trapped people from cars that got caught in a rolling river of mud along a major Southern California trucking route, a California Highway Patrol official said today in what he and other witnesses described as a chaotic scene. Amazingly, officials said no deaths or injuries were reported. The people rescued from State Route 58, about 30 miles east of Bakersfield, were stranded in a powerful storm on Thursday evening. They were rescued in darkness about 10 hours after the storm hit and taken to 3 shelters. It was terrifying, 51-year-old Rhonda Flores of Bakersfield told the Associated Press today. It was a raging river of mud. I've never experienced anything like it. Ever. Flores said she, her mother, and her stepfather were driving back to Bakersfield from her sister's funeral in Utah when the storm hit out of nowhere. It started raining, and it kept raining. The water started to build up, and the mud started coming. Flores said from the church where she, her family, and about 150 people sheltered overnight, the water's rushing by, the mud's rushing by, then pieces of trees started coming by, and the water was past our doors. Flores said the trio was prepared to jump out of the windows if the water got any higher. Luckily, it subsided. I'm feeling blessed that we are here, she said. Boy, I guess, you know what, from one kind of a disaster to another. You know, when does it end? I have no clue. Well, results of Afghanistan suggest that the United States troop mission, let's see what happens here, suggest a long United States troop mission is what I meant to say. America's war on Afghanistan, now in its 15th year, is long on official U.S. optimism that building a self-reliant Afghan army, but short on convincing evidence that the goal will be reached anytime soon. That's the backdrop to President Barack Obama's decision to extend the U.S. military mission beyond his last day in the White House, giving U.S. forces still more time to train and advise the Afghan army and keep up the hunt for remnants of the al-Qaeda network, whose September 11th attacks drew them to Afghanistan in 2001. Just last year, Obama had said the outlook was so encouraging that only an embassy-based military oversight office would remain after January 2017. Well, it looks different now and not as encouraging. The bottom line is, in key areas of the country, the security situation is still very fragile, and in some places, there is risk of deterioration, Obama said yesterday in announcing what he called a calculated adjustment to his plan. Supporters of prolonging the U.S. presence say it is necessary to secure Afghans' future and keep al-Qaeda and other extremist groups at bay. Others question whether keeping nearly 10,000 U.S. troops there in 2016 and then holding at 5,500 troops beyond that will make a significant difference, given the uneven results from 14 years of efforts to build and professionalize an Afghan army and police force paid for largely by the United States. This year, the Pentagon spent $4.1 billion to train, equip, and sustain the Afghan army and police. That is no ordinary package of assistance. It included feeding soldiers, paying their salaries, and fueling their vehicles. The Pentagon is asking Congress for another $3.7 billion for the coming year. Wow. Isn't that something? That's something sad. How many times can I say? Don't you just want peace on earth? Well, the latest, Slovenia shuts down a train traffic with Croatia. The latest news is immigrants fleeing war or seeking a better life make their way across Europe by the tens of thousands, and that's what's going on. Slovenia has suspended regular train traffic with Croatia in anticipation of the influx of immigrants, or migrants, I should say, wishing to reach Western Europe. The flow of people is expected to shift to Slovenia when Hungary closes its border with Croatia for migrants at midnight this evening. Slovenia has said it will accept the arrivals, but wants to control the influx. Officials say additional police have been sent to the border with Croatia to manage the flow. Slovenia's railway said today it has prepared trains to transport the migrants to the refugee centers prepared for them. Most of them are expected to move on to Austria and Germany. More than 180,000 people fleeing war and poverty in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia have passed through Croatia since mid-September. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, I'm going to talk about the IRS loses. And the first case up is transfers of property were not to evade tax. And I'll explain all of that right after these brief messages. Do not go away. We'll be right back, folks.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh, yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. And right now, let's just get right into it. The first case up is transfers of property were not to evade tax. Let me tell you about the case. David Jones owed back taxes to the IRS when he transferred a home that he owned to his mother and a warehouse that he owned to a corporation that he owned. That sounds a little confusing, right? Well, 6 years later, he declared bankruptcy and sought to have his still unpaid taxes discharged. The IRS said that the transfers were an attempt to evade tax collection, making his taxes non-dischargeable. So he went to court. This is what the judge said. Jones explained that he had purchased the house for his mother to live in and that she had, in fact, made all of the payments on it. Similarly, he had purchased the warehouse for his business's use, and it always had been operated by the business. So the transfers did not have a tax avoidance purpose, and his taxes are dischargeable. you know what? The IRS just seems to want to take intractable, unreasonable positions sometimes. And doesn't it just make you feel nice and warm and fuzzy every time that they get caught doing something nasty? Well, it does me. How about this? The IRS loses. Theft loss is deductible when reasonably certain. What the heck does that mean? Well, let me tell you. A couple was victimized by a jewelry scam that cost them several $1 million. Complicated lawsuits and insurance claims resulted, lasting several years. They claimed a theft loss deduction, but the IRS disallowed it, of course, saying that the couple was entitled to no deduction until the year in which all of their claims for reimbursement were resolved and their last recovery efforts had concluded. They protested, went to court. This is what the judge actually had to say. The IRS is wrong. A theft loss is deductible when reasonably certain, so the couple can take the deduction in portions over multiple years as the probable outcome of their various reimbursement claims became apparent. Shame on you, IRS, shame. Well, how about one more? The IRS loses. Driving to jobs away from home is deductible. Wait till you get this. David Lease was a union millwright in Cumberland, Maryland. He took daily job assignments from his union at distant locations, averaging about 100 miles a day driving to them, and deducted his driving costs. The IRS's objection? Only driving to temporary jobs away from home is deductible, and one's tax home is one's primary work location. Since Lease didn't work in Cumberland, it wasn't his tax home, so he couldn't deduct driving from it to distant jobs. Well, he went to court. This is what the intelligent judge had to say. Lease had long worked in Cumberland until jobs there grew scarce, and that made his tax home. Each of the distant jobs that he traveled to was temporary, so his driving to them was absolutely deductible. You gotta love this stuff. It just sends chills up and down my spine. Well, you've heard me say it before. Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stupid things or making decisions that you might be able to use to your own benefit? Well, that's where we're at right now with this segment we call Inside the IRS. Oh, yeah, here we are. Now, we're going to talk about inside the IRS, and the truth is that, the IRS, the government, doesn't always tell you everything that's going on, and what they do is they make decisions, and they try to keep it private and keep it out of court. That way it doesn't become a precedent item for them. But sometimes it does get published, and these are the kind of things that you want to know about. And right off the top, I want to talk about a mortgage defaults in the IRS. So here's the thing. Cancellation of debt, just COD, is going to be a real problem for many taxpayers who've defaulted on their home mortgages. The bank holding the mortgage is required to file with the IRS Form 1099-C, that's cancellation of debt, reflecting the amount of the cancellation of debt required to be reported on your tax return as income. So here's the tax trap here. The cancellation of debt income amount may include unpaid principal, accrued interest, penalties, and attorney's fees. Now, here's a loophole for you. If you are insolvent under state law, that means your liabilities exceed your assets. When you default, the amount of the cancellation of debt is not considered income to you and is not taxable. Now, that's, unfortunately, the IRS is going to try and get away with this stuff. That's what they always do. And you need to know. And because you can't be expected to know, you need to always, always, always contact a reputable licensed tax professional. They're going to really help you. Let me give you one more before we take this break. How do the IRS agents determine that you have not reported all of your income? Well, here's the deal. A common method that the IRS uses is to simply add up all of the deposits in your bank and brokerage accounts during the year. The presumption is that all deposits represent income unless you can establish that the money came from a gift or a loan. A revenue agent will also review credit card and bank loan statements to determine if payments made during the year to reduce the balance were made from sources other than your bank accounts. But there's a trap here. The agent may want to visit your home to determine if there are new appliances or furniture and to take a look at your wardrobe. Was unreported cash used to purchase these items? Here's your safest bet. The IRS must obtain a search warrant, which never happens in a civil case, guaranteed. So do not ever give a revenue agent permission to tour your home under any circumstances. That's where we're at. That's what I'm talking about. Now, do not go away. We're going to go on a short little break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to our own Dr. Stephen Tidwell, and he's got a special function taking place tomorrow. I'm going to be there with him, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:36 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 79 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, he's waiting in the wings. He's got to be the best dentist this side of Europe, for Pete's sake, or anywhere in the world as far as I'm concerned. But I want to give him a proper introduction, so let's do that right now. I said the best, the finest dentist this side of anywhere, but more importantly, my friend, Dr. Stephen Tidwell. Hey, Steve, you out there?
Hey, Bob, how you doing today?
I'm doing terrific. I am so excited to have you on the show today because we're going to talk about a magnificent event that's going to take place tomorrow that both you and I are going to attend. And let's just get right into it. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Well, Bob, I think you're really in for a treat. Not only are we going to have an amazing venue there. You've been to the Thornton Winery before. It's just a really nice, and especially with the weather we're having this weekend, it's just going to be gorgeous. We'll be out there. I believe it's our primary option is, weather permitting, is it'll be an outdoor event, so we'll get a little bit of late afternoon sunshine, and it's going to be. I will tell you something. We've already gone over budget on our food. So the appetizers and the beverages are going to be outstanding. So that's one of the things that we get to look forward to.
So you're gonna give us a little teaser about what the appetizers are going to be?
No.
Well, but you know what? I hear you.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's it'll be a surprise. So,
well, you know what?
I am looking forward to it.
Surprises are fun, and I really am too. And actually, the event's going to take place from I believe 4 to 5:30 tomorrow afternoon at the Thornton Winery.
Right. We might go a little bit longer than that, but yeah, that's the plan. And then one of the real treats is going to be we have some nice presentations that are going to happen, but our keynote speaker, her name is Diana Raup, and that's R-A-U-P, is an amazing individual. I was asked to introduce her, and I've got to get a little bit more information to make that happen, but just some of the background I have. This woman writes for a real prominent outdoor magazine, so as a result, in having to do her research, she's been pretty much about anywhere you can go and be outdoors in the wild, usually hunting. And I've met her before. She's very unassuming. You would have never guessed that she's as traveled as she is. And it's going to be really fun. She's had some great adventures and some neat experiences, so I'm really looking forward to hearing what she has to say, and I've heard her speak before, too. She does a nice job.
And we probably should mention that, because we're talking about this on the radio and it's going out worldwide besides the terrestrial stations that we have, that this actually is a closed event. This is a reservation-only event,
it's an invitation only, but I'll tell you that, if we still have a couple of spots open, and if someone really wanted to come, and you wanted to give Mike a call, we would be thrilled to have you come and join us.
Well, where would they call Mike at?
Well, you would call Mike, and you're going like, dang, you kind of got me on that one.
You know what? And I did it on. Oh, what the hell?
Yeah. I appreciate that.
You know what?
And it is Mike Orton, and Mike's phone number is 909-498-6660. That's 6660. So that was 909-498-6660. And you talk to Mike, and you tell him I sent you. Tell him Steve Tidwell sent you, and by golly, we'll find you a spot at the table.
Now
I've got to stand up.
Now that's an invitation that's hard to refuse. I just think that this is going to be just a really, really, really fun event. But what we really should talk about, because besides the event, getting to meet new people and the fun you're going to have with the refreshments and the hors d'oeuvres and things, why don't you talk a little bit about the foundation, Steve?
I was just going to say, I probably should say a little bit about who's putting this on.
Yeah.
It's the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. We're a conservation group formed of a lot of guys that are very interested in preserving and promoting wildlife habitat enhancement. We're primarily elk people. That's what we do, those big, giant deer things that, you see on Hartford. That's pretty much where we're concentrating on trying to improve the population of that animal all through the country. We've reintroduced it into areas where it's been lost for over 100 years. I'm happy to say that partly through our efforts and the natural action of the elk, as well as cooperating with the Fish and Game, Fish and Wildlife organizations all through the country, we've got elk up to a pretty healthy population all through the country, and we're trying to make it better. Obviously, if we're enhancing habitat for elk, it's going to be good for birds and as it turns out, for fish, for predators, for many other critters. It really makes an impact all through our environment, which, we're really doing something about. We can talk about global warming, you can talk about this, you can talk about that, but our group, we're doing something about it.
There's the difference. You can talk until you're blue in the face, but until you do something, it's meaningless.
Exactly. And I'm really proud to say that our group is a nonprofit, as a registered charity. We are proud that we've been rated as high as you can be rated by charity reviewing organizations, mostly because we give back to our programs over 90 cents out of every dollar that we take in.
Well, and that's big.
Yeah. And you've worked with charities before, and some of these, and I really don't want to get into pointing fingers, but there's very large, very well-known charities that can't make 50 cents on the dollar.
That's for sure.
And some that are even worse than that. And if you really look at where your money's going, you'd be downright embarrassed that you'd be supporting people that you thought, or supporting groups that you thought were helping causes that are near and dear to your heart, and find out you're just pretty much
you're employing somebody and employing them at an extensive salary, and it turns out to be exactly that. And the charity is just an excuse for them to make money. You're not seeing 90% of their funds go to the charity that it was intended to.
No, I didn't say anything about the Clinton Foundation, but
Yeah, I'm not going to. You know what? I've got
you on that one, didn't I, Bob? That came out of left field.
Well, it really did. I have John Matthews, who is the producer of the Conservative Syndicate, and he's on my show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and so we get into these political conversations all the time. Now, I happen to be a conservative, but I'm excuse the expression, pissed off conservative, but I'm a long way from being a liberal. On the other hand, it just seems to me that what we really need is to perhaps have the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation teach the Congress how to actually be productive, because we've got a Congress that doesn't know how to be productive. If they were doing the same kind of things that the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation were doing, we wouldn't be having the problems we're having today. And the Congress we have today is run by conservatives, by Republicans, or at least they'd like to convince us that they are.
Well, rhinos are not an endangered species in Congress. No.
Yeah, but we got to be cutting their horns off.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, we
or
could,
something.
I fall right in behind you on that, Bob.
I wouldn't make it a habit calling me that, son.
But anywho, I do think we're going to have a great event tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's an opportunity for us to promote our cause a little bit, and if everything goes well, I believe that we will actually be able to raise some money and really make a difference. Unlike Congress, I think we will really make a difference. And in this case, it's just a few people that get together that have a common cause that can really influence the way things can happen in this country, and it's exciting for us. I'm proud to be part of that.
Well, you know what, and what more can you say than that? It's going to be a fantastic event. We ought to talk about, it's not like this is the first event that the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation has put on. They've been in existence for a long time. Why don't you talk a little bit about their history? When did they actually get started?
Well, Bob, it's funny that you should say that, because it really hasn't been that long. We've been founded just over 30 years ago. We just had our 30th anniversary. We're up to 205,000 members, 95% of which are hunters, actually. And with our efforts, we could serve more than 6.6 million acres for elk and other wildlife.
Wow, that's amazing. And then,
we helped the elk population double in size during that same period to more than 1 million strong today.
Wow. And that's what conservation's all about. It's not that you're not going to enjoy hunting and take the food home to your freezer, because there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're all taking food of some kind home to our freezer, but you're actually conserving the species, and it's growing, and it's healthy, and it's protected. And, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Now, you have over 250,000 members. The thing is that now when you have these functions, because I know you have a function every year that I know about, but that's just for one chapter, right? They have those all over the United States, do they not?
Oh, we have, I believe we have over 300 chapters. It's crazy. We have a lot of people involved all over the country from coast to coast. And, there's a few more in the West, I think, than there are in the East. But, I'm looking at the list here of Pennsylvania, and there's, probably 15, 18 different chapters in Pennsylvania alone.
So do you find that the membership grows as you get into more rural communities?
Well, it's funny. It's you'd think that, but in all fairness, our number one chapter, the chapter, I don't know if it has the most people, but they do the biggest banquet every year, is Tucson, Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah, these guys, it's not even close. They're up there, and the rest of us are just looking at that with our mouths open going, how can you possibly do that? Wow. It's incredible.
So listen,
I'll tell you one thing, Bob, and as a conservative, you'll really appreciate this. Mm-hmm. When the government decides it's going to conserve the environment, they lock it up. We've got, Obama as the president, can speak and say, with his spoken word, he can say, I want to make a national monument. Well, that suddenly changes how everything is used in that area. There's a lot of things that come off the table when he does that. We work in the other way. We have, through our work, we have also opened and improved public access to many wilderness areas, not so much building roads, but making it so that areas can't be blocked off by private owners, putting up fences across their property that blocks people access to public land.
Okay, so hey, Steve, we've got 30 seconds. Why don't you give that phone number to Mr. Odom one more time, and then we'll go to a commercial break and come back.
All right. Mike Orton is at 909-498-6660. That's 6660. And he would love to hear from you about being part of our organization or joining us tomorrow at our event. That was 909-498-6660.
And we've been talking to our own doctor, Stephen Tidwell, and we will be talking about tomorrow's dentistry today right after these brief messages. But for gosh sakes, don't forget about the Rocky Mountain Elks Foundation. That event's going to take place tomorrow at the Thornton Winery in Temecula, California, from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away, or we're going to send Steve out to get you.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Dr. Stephen Tidwell about tomorrow's dentistry today. Yeah, okay. Hey, Steve, listen, you wanted to talk about grinding your teeth or something like that. I thought I read here today.
That's kind of where I was going. You know, it's kind of the unsung villain of so many dental problems these days. I see this so often. It's real easy to see somebody that grinds their teeth. If you're ever walking along and you see somebody smile, and it looks to me, it looks a little like somebody took a file and just made their front teeth flat, straight across. In other words, there's no variation in the length of those teeth. You'll go like, that person's grinding their teeth at night. It's that easy to spot.
So are they doing that at night when they're asleep? They don't even know they're doing it?
Well, that's one of the things about it is that you've got kids. You've watched your kids when they're asleep. You know, they look like spaghetti. You know, they're just limp and all that sort of stuff. When you get to that stage of sleep, you're not doing any kind of muscle movement to speak of. You know, breathing is it. So the thing is, though, is that twilight time, the sunset time between when you put your head on the pillow and when you get to that state is when you really will do a lot of grinding of your teeth. And you're not awake, you're not conscious, but you're not fully asleep. And people will clench, people will grind, and it's amazing. When you can put 3,000 pounds per square inch of pressure with your jaws on your teeth, you can do some fair damage. if you're really working at that.
That's amazing. 3,000 pounds of pressure?
Yeah, that's the average of what people can expect. And the problem is that people that grind their teeth, it's a little like doing push-ups all the time. You make those jaws a little stronger, and you know what? I would think that number actually goes up. That's just an average number. And I would be surprised to find that there's some people, and you see these people that have these sort of square jaws. They're looking, that they can really put some pressure on.
So the teeth are not getting stronger, but the jaw is, so the damage you can do is potentially worse.
Well, and the thing about it isn't only to your teeth that you can have these problems. Once you start grinding your teeth, our typical symptom that we get from someone from grinding their teeth is they'll get headaches. You're going to say, I wake up in the morning and I'm stiff, my neck, my shoulders, my jaw kind of sort of sore. Sometimes it'll be clicking or making a noise. It might be a little stiff in your jaws. And then I'll get patients that come in going, Doc, it hurts over here on these teeth, and I go in there and it isn't. And you look at the x-ray and there's no decay. There's no cavities. They've never had a filling, and you go checking it out, and gee, almost all their teeth are sensitive. Well, I have a couple of questions I ask. I go, what kind of toothpaste you're using? Because some of these tartar control, highly abrasive toothbrushes, people will get some hot and cold sensitivity all through their mouth. But the other reason is, and I'll look and gee, their teeth are all worn down from grinding away, and I go, yeah, you're grinding your teeth too much. And it will cause not only pain in the joint and in the muscles around it, but I've even seen people that have a little bit of gum disease have that it's like pouring gasoline on the fire, and all of a sudden they'll be losing bone around their teeth. People close to me that I know have cracked their teeth because they've been grinding their teeth, end up either getting crowns or even worse, sometimes root canals and even an extraction because the crack is so extensive that we can't even fix it. We got to take it out and put in an implant.
Wow.
I've seen that happen.
You know what? As a percentage, Steve, of patients that you see, is it a high percentage that have been grinding their teeth, or is it a lower percentage?
I would bet there's a very high percentage of people that grind your teeth. Now, how many of those people actually will have symptoms? How many of those people actually get problems from it? And that's really kind of the thing. Just because you may grind or clench a little bit doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to become something bad. You've got potential for that, and the problem is it's sort of a snowball effect. Sometimes if your bite's off a little bit, or you're missing a tooth or 3 or 5 or something like this, your jaw kind of goes out of whack, and your body's natural response to that is to try and grind it back into place. Well, once you start grinding it down, now your teeth are a little closer together, and you're more out of whack, and you grind more. And it sort of snowballs in the wrong way. One of the ways that we found that seems to work to make people quit grinding is actually put them in braces and make their teeth longer. And you restore that bite back to where it was, and you know what? A lot of people quit grinding. We've seen that happen more than a few times. There's the big thing, the underlying deal on this, though, is stress. And that's usually, if you take someone that grinds and you want to see them really get to it, you increase the stress level. Now, everybody hears stress and you're thinking, well, yeah, taxes are due, or I've got, I'm going through a divorce, or, whatever sort of things like that. It isn't all about that. Some of that has to do with, how are you eating? Are you getting any exercise? Is your sleep pattern messed up? Some people will, have days to nights, or, different things that will cause stress in your life. And remember, it's in that twilight time that you're grinding. So I always try and encourage my patients to do things to decrease that twilight time. You want to get to sleep deeper, quicker. So how do you do that? Well, you stay away from the sugar, stay away from the stimulants in the afternoon. Don't drink that cup of coffee after dinner because it's going to keep you awake longer. And so you do things to try and decrease the stresses in your life that are going to keep that twilight time longer. Get a little more exercise, you're a little more, and you'll go to sleep easier.
I was always thinking you go ahead and have that cup of coffee and then just do a whiskey chaser.
Well, there's that, too. And the funny thing about it is that lots of times, though, alcohol works the opposite way on that.
Yeah, I know. I was just joking.
And I know. But, I mean, it was a good point because you hear that, too. I'll just have a glass of wine with it. Well, sometimes that doesn't really work as well as you think. I mean, a glass of wine can't hurt, but... what's interesting is people that drink coffee or maybe they have some cocktails and stuff late at night, and it makes them very drowsy and lethargic, and they go to bed and they go right to sleep. The problem is they wake up at some ungodly hour because their body is just, they've had it. They got all this stuff in there and they're rearing to go. And it doesn't get you to the kind of deep sleep and keep you there. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's not the battery recharging sleep, right?
No. And I'm not a sleep specialist. That isn't where I come from. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to deal with this from just a little bit that I have learned about all this, and I know it's all related, but really, to me, it comes back to the grinding. And then what do we do about it? Well, sometimes it's as simple as just checking the patient's bite and going, oh, yeah, well, you got this one tooth that's sticking up a little bit too much over here. You smooth that so you can slide your teeth around, and oh, man, my whole jaw feels better. This is great. I love it.
And that one thing caused the problem?
Oh, I've seen that more than a few times. I've seen people that have suffered for many years after they've had even several years after they had a new crown the bite was off a little bit, and they didn't go back and get it checked. They go, this thing's always kind of bugged me. And I just go zip, 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 and they go like, wow, that's so much better. Can't believe how much different that feels. Wow. Sometimes it's putting back teeth that you've been missing because everybody's chewing on one side because that's where the teeth are. Get some teeth back over on the other side, either with implants or whatever else, and doing the dentistry that I do. And now you get your teeth chewing on both sides again. Everything's evening out, and all of a sudden, a lot of these things feel so much better.
And the only way to find out, and the only road to a solution, is to visit your dentist regularly.
Well, and that's it. You don't even know if you have the problem until you have a professional look at it. I've heard you say the same thing about your tax problems.
Yeah.
Don't try and diagnose it on your own. I'm giving you just enough information to get dangerous, but it'll at least spark the conversation, and that's what you need to have. And, you can come to my office. I do free consultations all the time. You want to come in and talk about it, I'll take a look. I can't be terribly informative until I get a few more records, but, there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about before you even have to spend a dime.
Yeah. You know what? And I think that for people, people have got to know there's something. They have to know something's going on. If they're grounding their teeth, or maybe they're closing their mouth and their teeth don't sit well. That there's something in the way, or they're.
Well, you get used to that. That's why somebody will go for such a long time. But usually it's the spouse that goes. Whether the other person is snoring, or you hear this, my gosh, it sounds like you're sawing up wood over there. What is going on? You hear this rattling like timpani, a timpani over there. And it's, and then we see the patient and say, oh yeah, this is what you're doing. So then what do we do about it? Well, we've talked about braces and some of that, things that you do to someone that's, altering what you are. What I do a lot of times just to get started is we have a special little device that we call, it's in the Night Guard family, but it's an NITITSS. It's NITI, whatever you want to call this thing. They are great because unlike a lot of the things that you would buy over the counter from another doctor, which just give you something else to grind on, this actually stops people from grinding.
Okay, we got 20 seconds, Steve.
So, yeah, and it's a great thing. But I would say, come by, talk to me at You can get all of my contact info at tidwelldentistry.net. I'm in Rancho Cucamonga in San Bernardino, California. Rancho, I'm at 909-944-7308. In San Bernardino, 909-881-3336.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that too.
You know what? This has been a great show. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And you know what? Next week we'll report on everything that took place at tomorrow's event.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'll even show you some pictures here, Bob, right here on the radio. It'll be great.
Sounds fantastic. Hey, Steve, have a great weekend. I know you will. And stay safe, stay happy. Make everybody's life you touch a little bit better for it, will you?
I will do it.
All right, and we'll be right back after these brief messages with our own David Garrett on the law. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:10 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 79 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, not only my good friend, but probably the best attorney this side of the Eastern Seaboard is waiting in the wings. So let me get him a proper introduction and get him in here and see what the heck it is we'll be talking about today.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the bowels of the Hall of Justice, our own legal guru, David Garrett, attorney at law.
Hey, David, welcome aboard. We're actually, you're probably saying, when the heck are they going to let me through on this line? What the heck is going on over there? Well, we're actually running about 3 minutes late because the show before us ran long.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of what was going on and why you were having the difficulties you were having. How are you doing? And listen, when I left you last week, I wanted to know how many fish you actually caught.
Oh, I'll tell you, my fishing experience last week was less than good.
You know what? Somebody has got to explain to you what fish stories are all about. Every week I ask you about how great your fishing excursions have been. Every week you tell me, not so good. I didn't get anything here. It was just an excursion on the ocean. I didn't do anything there. You're an attorney. You have got to learn to lie.
I better work on this embellishing thing. To be honest with you, I was talking about the ones I had to throw back, and they were probably about 150 pounds each. They were small ones.
Now you're doing. Now, see, when you apply yourself, that makes all the difference in the world. I think that makes all the difference. When you're applying yourself, you actually can do that quite well.
I will share one thing with you, though. I had my brother-in-law went fishing up in Lewiston, Idaho, and they have these sturgeon fish up there. And he got a couple of these guys. You can't keep them anymore, but they're like a 200-pound prehistoric-looking dinosaur.
Wow!
I mean, they're the most wild fish you ever seen. And
Are they a hard fish? I mean, are they a fighting fish?
Yeah, he said it took him about an hour to get one of them in.
Wow.
That's with the boat chasing the fish around. So, they are bizarre-looking fish.
Wow!
Tell you, throw back to the dinosaurs.
And 200 pounds, that's a pretty good size.
Yeah, and and considering it's in a freshwater river where people use it recreationally, I mean,
that's a scary thought, David.
It is.
That's a scary thought. To think that something prehistoric, 200 pounds, as ugly as that thing is there underneath you someplace. I'm thinking I'd stay on the boat.
Yeah, that was kind of my thinking. Rod in hand and on the boat, I'm good.
Absolutely. Hey, so listen, what's new and interesting on the law today? Oh, yeah.
Well, I had a few.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was going off in another direction.
Well, I had kind of an interesting thing to bring up. That, we've kind of touched on some of this stuff in the past, and this finally came up in a little different light. But I ran into a situation this week where some guys were incarcerated. They're in a real low level security place. But the chicken pox hit this particular jail, and they get to the unit where these guys are in, and the warden decides, I've got to quarantine this unit. So that means they can't get anybody in or out. Then you get down to the courthouse side of this equation. Well, a lot of these guys are just getting ready to be released. All they have to do is show up to court, and the judge sends them on their way. They get kicked out of jail. But you run into the catch-22. They can't come to jail because the warden has properly quarantined the unit, and the court can't do anything because most of these are felony kind of cases, and it requires appearance of the prisoner to be able to handle the case.
So it's, damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah, that's the ultimate catch-22, and I started looking back there, we talked a while ago about that Ebola scare.
Oh, yeah.
You remember all the steps about quarantining back then, and it requires a health department, lockdown, everything else. But now they're quarantining, at least in the jails, over something like chickenpox. And there's a case. Go ahead.
It just seems to me, I suppose that's actually a prudent thing to do in order to arrest the spread of it. But, you get a guy that a judge is certainly going to release today, and he's not going to get out of there for probably 2 weeks because he's quarantined. It's not that he doesn't deserve to be there, but he's sure going to be ticked off that he's there 2 weeks longer than he needs to be, right?
Yeah, I guess they hold them for as long as the potential, incubation period is for whatever the particular disease is. There were some cases out there where they did it a few years back over the H1N1 flu. Remember when that thing is going around?
Yeah.
This is going to come on approaching almost 30 days for some of these guys.
Well, that's a long time. So yeah. They're actually, and some of these guys, their sentence might have been 30 days, which means that they didn't that when they finally do get to court, the judge is going to sentence them to 30 days time served, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, you know who Hastert is, right? Hastert.
Say the name again.
Hastert. He was the Speaker of the House many years ago, for Congress, and he has recently been brought before the courts for sexual indiscretions. And so what he's decided to do, and there's a question behind this, what he's decided to do is rather than have all of these indiscretions become public knowledge, he is going to plead guilty. Now, he's an old man, can't even hardly walk anymore, right? And so and the prosecutor wants him to serve some time in prison. Now, the only reason he's pleading guilty is, and it's not that he's not guilty, is so that the indiscretions that he committed won't be made public, so he won't have to actually have a public trial. But it seems to me, because I'm reading it in the news every day, I can let my mind wander. I know what sexual indiscretions are, and so the whole world already knows. Why on earth would he plead guilty? And is that a normal thing for people to do? Just go ahead and plead guilty, maybe have some plea agreements so you get a slap on the hand or a wrist or whatever, and get out of there without costing money to the state or the community to get out of there. And does it really stay private?
Yeah, to answer your questions, a lot of it would stay very private. The plea agreement, there would be a little bit of difference between federal and state, but most of the egregious elements of the crime would never be spoke about in the plea agreement. It would just say, yeah, we did something improper with this person, and the person's name would probably be protected to protect the victim's identity, and that would be about all as public record. All the what is called discovery on either side would remain sealed unless somebody leaked it.
So the judge would know, right?
The judge would have an idea what was going on. Yeah.
And because basically, and let me ask you this: how much of this stuff is a rubber stamp? How much of this stuff is, the DA or the prosecuting attorney and the defense attorney? These guys are talking back and forth. They have an agreement going on, and the two of them agree on things. Is it very often that the judge goes off in another direction and says, "No, I'm not going to allow that," or is that pretty much a rubber stamp?
Again, and it's interesting you bring that question up, because I had to deal with that this week. But you have a big difference between a plea agreement in a California state court, and you walk across the street, and let's say you're doing your plea agreement in federal court. In the state court, I would say that once the plea deal's entered into, it's pretty much a rubber stamp. 99.9% of the time. When you get into federal court, you have a plea agreement. The defendant pleads guilty. which end up with our recommendations by the attorneys, but it also goes to probation for a pre-sentencing report, and the judge can basically do anything they want to.
Wow. Yeah. That's why they call federal judges gods, right? Hey, listen, we've got 10 seconds. Give out your contact information, and we'll go on a small break and come back.
Okay. We can be reached at www.lawbbg.com or the phone number 909-945-5000.
And we're talking to our own David Garrett on the law. We'll be right back with some interesting stuff that you're gonna find enticing. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own David Garrett on the law. Hey, Dave, you've got the microphone, buddy.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what you think of that Odom case that's going on here. Lamar Odom. I mean, you can't turn on the TV without seeing everybody in their opinion hear it.
Refresh my memory about Bar Odom.
He's the NBA.
The guy he spent $75,000 in a house of ill repute with 2 women over a weekend. Can you believe that thing?
Yeah, it's just nuts. I don't know.
It just boggles my mind. Here's a guy with everything going for him, including a checkbook, right? And he winds up incapacitated on drugs with 2 women, spends $75,000, and the worst part is he doesn't remember any of it.
Yeah. I was looking at that thing as we went through it, and I guess near as I've been able to distill what actually happened down there is he gets a hold of, he's doing some cocaine. I would assume alcohol too, but I'm not sure of that. But then he got into these herbal supplement, herbal Viagra, for lack of a better word. I think the product's called Reload.
Is that the perfect name?
Yeah. You can't make this stuff up. You know that.
Holy cow.
And I learned also that I guess if you're close to 7 feet tall, you don't need just one, you need 10 at a time. So, I don't know. He took about 10 of these pills over there. And then,
so that's about $7,500 a pill, right?
You got it. And then obviously he winds up ultimately in the hospital, and they hear disputes whether he's coming out of it or not.
Yeah.
And I think, what's Bruce Jenner's real name now? What are they calling him?
Caitlin,
yeah. Of course, he's tied into this clan, to that clan. And I think eventually Caitlyn Jenner is going to come out and enlighten us all on what's really going on. But aside from that, my personal opinion, something of a train wreck out there.
Oh, yeah.
The interesting thing is this Reload pill, there'd been an FDA warning about, to people in the community saying, hey, this stuff, if you got it, you better throw it away. It's got the active ingredients of, and I can't remember if it was Cialis or Viagra, but one of those 2 drugs is in there. And if you're taking certain medications or other things, and you take these pills, I mean, it can be life-threatening.
Well, it's on a different note, because when you think about the seriousness of Viagra and Cialis and this Reload or whatever they call this thing, do you remember? I remember when Don Drysdale, who was just the top-notch first-line pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they were traveling, and he was back east, and when he got on the plane, he had a headache, so he took a Tylenol when he was on the plane, and then what he, trying to get rid of his headache, and then when he got off the plane, had a couple of drinks, and instead of going out with his buddies, he decided, he was tired, he wanted to get some rest. He went to his hotel room and never woke up. Died because of the interaction of the alcohol and the Tylenol. Now, if you can die, stop your heart from an interaction with alcohol and Tylenol, what on earth is going to happen with these stronger drugs that physiologically really change your body?
Yeah. I mean, it is very scary. The guy that charged him $75,000 for the weekend is the one that, of course, had all those pills there for sale. I guess he just ignored the FDA warning, left the pills there.
Well, wait. I'm guessing those pills probably didn't have Reload it? I'm guessing they didn't have an FDA warning on them.
Oh, no, they didn't have that. No. But I will tell you, the front of them's got a little girl kissing a gun there. I'm looking at the advertisement for it. It's a pill on top and the word Reload above it.
He had 2 girls with him, and if they were willing to do that, he wouldn't need the pills.
Oh, you bet.
Just interesting. You know what? I've never been able to figure it out. And I guess it's because I've never been in that position. Here are guys that they've got the whole world in front of them. They've got it all knocked. They've got all the money they could ever want. They've got all the success. They've got all the notoriety. They've got everything. And they spend their money going to hire hookers instead of getting girlfriends, legitimate girlfriends, and they squander all this stuff, and they wind up either getting into a coma or killing themselves. And my guess is, and correct me, whatever your thoughts are, my guess is that these are young men and young women or young people who came from the depths of nothing and accomplished this because of pure talent that they have, and weren't prepared for that kind of success or the kind of revenue that it would give, and they're not mature enough to handle it, and it's just they go out and they kill themselves.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. I mean, they just never had the skill set to, like you say, deal with what their physical prowess allowed them to obtain.
Yeah.
But as I step back on this, I'm looking at, who do you think's really going to, somebody's going to get sued over this, so I'm sure of that. You got the Kardashian clan in this, so it might even make it on reality TV. I don't know.
Yeah.
They got a channel and carry it, but they might.
You know what? Unfortunately, I don't care enough about the Kardashians or Caitlyn Jenner or Odom or any of them to want to see it get any more press. I'd love to know what the end result is, but you know what? They've already got their 15 minutes of fame. It's time for that to go away.
Yeah, just go through it, tell us what happens. But as I look at it, I can see how the brothel shouldn't have had these pills out there.
Yeah.
Assuming they knew something about that.
Well, they're putting those pills out there the same as they would put condoms out there, right? They put a little bowl out there with condom packages sitting out there. I'm saying this like I know, but and then they probably got another bowl next to it with this reload, gun reload your gun stuff. And these guys, they grab a condom and they grab a pill and they head for the next door, right?
Oh, you got it. Yeah. But, I mean, why should the brothel itself be responsible? I mean, they weren't out there shoving this stuff down the guy's throat.
No.
They weren't making him use cocaine. They were happy he was spending $75,000, but I don't think they were forcing it away from him at gunpoint.
No.
It's an interesting dilemma to me here of where does responsibility lies. Should it be all 100% on Lamar Odom? I personally tend to lean towards that.
Yeah, me too.
But on the flip side, I guess I could see people saying, "Oh, you put this stuff out there. He thought it was safe. He took it. I'm not sure he thought it was safe enough to take 10 of them, but he's a big guy. He needs 10."
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I think that society today, when something goes wrong, they look for a scapegoat. That's exactly what's going on here. And I don't think that the scapegoat is necessarily where the fault really belongs.
Oh, I would agree with that 100%. I think we're going to get a legal answer on this of where it lies.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
First of all, he went there of his own free will. He's the one that grabbed the pills. It's to me, it's a self-inflicted injury.
Yeah. You see, I'm glad you see it kind of the same way I do. I mean, and I'm certainly not defending any of the characters involved in this.
Well, you got to say to yourself, what is the guy doing going to a brothel if he can't get it up anyway?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what? Hey, yeah, I've got a sex problem. I can't get it up, so I'm going to go to this brothel and I'm going to have sex with 2 women over the weekend. But since I can't get it up and I can't have the sex with these 2 women, I'm going to take these pills so that I can do what I can't do.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's like, hey, he made that decision.
Yeah. But look at your parties here. On the plaintiff side, you got the brothel customer that's taking cocaine and reload.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, you got the pimp.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's supply and demand. The pimp had the supply. The customer had the demand. You know.
It's kind of difficult finding the moral high ground in this one.
Yeah, I mean, so whose fault would it be if he had had a heart attack because he was having too much sex, forgetting about the cocaine and forgetting about the pills, right? So would it be the hooker's fault, or would it be the pimp's fault, or would it be the John's fault?
Boy, fortunately, I think that one just gets answered by the coroner's definition of passing away from natural causes.
Yeah. and they die with a smile on their face.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, just crazy stuff. Just crazy stuff going on. I just don't get it.
Oh, it's a weird world.
Yeah.
And then the other case I ran into that I found kind of entertaining here. I don't know how much time we got, but
2 minutes.
Well, I'll blow through it quick. Did you see the kid that's parents are now the 17-year-old's parents that are suing the police department because their kid was a total nitwit, came out, started fighting with the cops. The only possible bad thing here is the cop shot the kid 7 times.
7 times? What,
yeah.
What did the kid have a weapon or something?
No, he comes out, he flips his lights on at the cop, and then so the cop pulls him over for a traffic stop. And then the kid is just kind of an arrogant little jerk. Does enough for the cop to ask him to get out. The cop kicks his cell phone away from him. He's lying on the ground. The cop went to tase him. It didn't work. So the kid gets up, starts fighting with the cop. And that's where the shooting takes place. The end result of this video you see is a cop going away with his face all bloodied up, and you have a dead kid laying on the ground.
You know,
and
that's just a travesty. But whose fault? And in my opinion, the kid caused the problem.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing I don't like here is, as you listen to it, I don't think cops should go around shooting people.
Oh, no, of course not.
Yeah. But I've got the parents that didn't teach this kid enough knowledge or respect of society's rules that if the cop simply asks you, why'd you flash me, don't be a smart aleck. Just tell them I did it because of this. I'm sorry. Here's my license and registration.
Yeah.
That's where the things went bad, when he started refusing that. And
there's a reason they call it police power.
Yeah.
You know, and a policeman, I don't care how young or old that kid is, a policeman doesn't have to get his face bashed in, doesn't have to get bloody before he takes action. Now, should he kill the kid? No. Maybe smack him on the side of the head and do whatever you got to do? Yeah. You know, call for backup? Yeah. Sit on this kid until the backup gets there? Yeah. You know, but if the kid is relentless and he's going to harm this officer, at some point the officer's got to make a decision and say, hey, enough's enough.
Yeah, and you can see it in here. I mean, the officer, in my opinion, was acting with restraint up until the very last minute. If I had any criticism of the officer, is that he just didn't sit there and listen to the kid, smart mouth him till backup arrived and there were more people to deal with it. But I don't think that's just hindsight being 20/20. But why should these parents be able to sue the officer for their kid being a nitwit?
Well, I think the parents
are the ones that taught them to begin with.
Exactly. I think the parents are just as responsible. With that, David, we're over time here. Give out your contact information, and then we're going to move on.
Okay. The number is 909-945-5000, and the website www.lawbbg.com.
And we've been talking to our own David Garrett on the law. Hey, David, go out, make it a wonderful day. Go fishing tomorrow. I don't care if you catch fish or not, but come back with some really good fish stories next week. And you know what? Stay safe, stay happy, make everybody's life a little bit nicer because they met you, will you?
I'll do that. Thank you, Bob, and I'll have some good stories for next week.
Sounds great. Now, don't go away. When we come back, we're going to have the birthdays of the day, the secret daily teachings for your life, the Harvard Business Tip of the Day, and interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:45 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 79 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what today is, right? Sure you do. It's somebody's birthday. Oh yeah, let's get right to him. You know, this gentleman was born in 1947, a singer, songwriter, and guitarist, most recognized as a founding member of the Grateful Dead. Happy birthday, Bob Weir. And here's one, Flea, born in 1962. He's the best known as the bassist and founding member of the alternative rock band Red Hot Chili Peppers. Flea, yeah. And then finally, John Mayer, born in 1977, musician, career pursuits have extended to stand-up comedy, design, and writing. Happy birthday, John. Well, what happened today in history? I can tell you that on October the 16th, 1793. Marie Antoinette, wife of Louis XVI, is guillotined at the height of the French Revolution. Yep, let them eat cake. That was what Marie Antoinette said. And in 1843, Sir Winston Rowan Hamilton comes up with the idea of quaternions, a non-cumulative extension of complex numbers. Wow, think about that one. And in 1916, Margaret Sanger founds Planned Parenthood by opening the very first U.S. birth control clinic. Boy, a lot of controversy going around that, if you think about it, but it happened way back in 1916. And how controversial is it today at 2015? Well, how about this? The quote for today comes from Iris Murdoch, and Iris says, "Love is the difficult realization that something other than oneself is real." Yeah, now that's profound. That works, right? All right, let's talk about the secret daily teaching for your life. It's all about a positive mental attitude. Today's teaching came from Charles Haenel. He was born in 1866 and he died in 1949. And he says, "The absolute truth is that the I is perfect and complete. The real I is spiritual and can therefore never be less than perfect. It can never have any lack, limitation, or disease." Wow, good for you, Charles. Good for you. Well, let's talk about the Harvard Business Tip of the day. And the management tip today is, help your team avoid unhealthy competition. You know, it's hard to collaborate if you view your colleague as the competition. Even when leaders don't explicitly paint a win-lose game for their teams, the competitive mindset is the default for most high-achieving professionals. So you have to communicate that success as the team, in the team, can be greater and more exciting when people work together. Now, emphasize the opportunity for all team members to value and learn from each other. And follow these tactics to follow employees, to help employees adopt a teaming mindset. First of all, model the behavior that you're hoping to inspire. Demonstrate curiosity and interest in the people that you work with. Ask them genuine questions and respond thoughtfully to what you hear. And then place a high value on and reward successful teaming more than individual performance. And then finally, frame the challenge ahead, the work, the initiative, the project, as something in need of diverse perspectives and skills. Now that is good advice. All right, it is time for our interesting but useless facts. And the first one up today is, there are 2 million different combinations of sandwiches that can be created from a Subway menu. That's Subway sandwich menu. Yeah. Did you know that Los Angeles' full name is El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Angeles de Porciuncula? Yeah, easy for them to say, right? How about just City of the Angels? And did you know that 1/4 of the bones in your body are in your feet? Yeah, there's a fact for you. Now let's try this one. Did you know that Pokemon stands for Pocket Monster? Yeah, that's a good one, right? Yeah. Try this one on for size. Water expands before it freezes. Now, give that some thought. Yeah. Let's try another one. American alligators live in southeastern areas of the United States, such as Florida and Louisiana. That's where they live, folks. Not crocodiles, alligators. And did you know over 500 meteorites hit the Earth each year? Aren't you glad? And they hit the Earth. It's not like they get destroyed on the way down. Did you know that the Atlantic Ocean has a greater salt content than the Pacific Ocean? There's something to think about. Also makes it easier to float, but that's assuming there's no sharks around, right? How about this? And I'll leave you with this one. There have been about 30 films made at or about Alcatraz, the now closed federal prison island in San Francisco Bay, including The Rock in 1996, Birdman of Alcatraz in 1962, and Escape from Alcatraz in 1979. And with that, we're going to take a small break. When I come back, I'm going to answer your emails. The first one comes from Callista Brett from Saratoga, California, asking about a home sale problem. I'll tell you all about it right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. Well, we're coming down to the wire. Time for me to answer your emails. I want to remind you that this is an entertainment section of the show and that I try my best to give you a good comprehensive answer to all the emails that you send me, but sometimes the information is a little sketchy. So we always encourage you to talk to a licensed professional before you do anything. And you know what? They're going to cost you less money than they save you generally, or I should say they're going to save you more money than they cost you. And they're going to give you peace of mind, let you sleep at night. Because, one of the conditions of their licensing is that they have what they call errors and omissions insurance. Same thing as malpractice insurance. And that means that if they give you the wrong advice, they're liable for it. And so they pay the piper, not you. That means you can sleep at night, not worry about somebody knocking on your door or those registered letters or phone calls that might be coming through. Now, my first email comes from Callista Brett from Saratoga, California, asking about a home sale problem and says, I sold a residence that qualifies for tax-free gain, but the sales agent issued a 1099 reporting the sale amount to the IRS. If I include it in gross income, then even after deducting the tax-free amount from it, my adjusted gross income will go so high that I'll lose many of my deductions. What can I do? A great question, Callista. When you sell a home that you owned and used as a primary residence for 2 of the prior 5 years, up to $250,000 of the gain on that sale is tax-free, $500,000 on a joint return. Now, this amount is simply not reported on your return. So you don't have the problem that you described. You don't have to report that 1099 anywhere on your return as long as none of it is taxable. If part of the gain is taxable, only that taxable portion is going to be included in your gross income. So hopefully that'll help you. Next email comes from Caden Burke from Lansing, Michigan, asking about donating a house. He says, I've owned a house as an investment property for several years. It's declined in value, and I wonder if I can do better by donating it to a charity instead of selling it. Well, here's the thing, Caden. If you want to make a charitable donation, sell the house first and donate the sale proceeds. If you donate it to charity, you'll receive a charity deduction only for its market value, which has a cash value equal to the amount of the deduction times your marginal tax rate and no loss deduction. So let me give you an example of that. If the house that cost $150,000 is worth $100,000 and you're in the top 35% tax bracket, a sale nets $100,000 cash plus a $50,000 capital loss deduction, deductible either in the current year or in subsequent years depending on other capital gains transactions. But a donation obtains just a $100,000 charity deduction worth only about $35,000 cash, subject to adjusted gross income limitations. So keep that in mind when you're doing these things. Next email comes from Daniel Chin from Chula Vista, California. He's asking about earnest money and taxes and says, if a person deposits earnest money on a purchase of a house, then backs out of the deal and forfeits the money, is the loss deductible and is the money taxable income to the seller? Well, Daniel, whether or not the lost earnest money is deductible depends on the intent behind the purchase agreement. If the house was to be purchased to be used as a personal residence, the loss is a personal loss and is not deductible. But if the house was to be purchased as an investment or business property, then the loss can be deducted as an investment or business loss. Now, the purchase money kept by the seller is taxable income to the seller, so hopefully that helps you. One last email from Jessica Collins from Skokie, Illinois, asking about an IRA conversion. Says, I'd like to convert my traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, but I'm over that $100,000 income limit for doing so. However, if my wife and I file separate returns, it will put me under the limit. Will this work? Well, unfortunately, no. A taxpayer who files filing separately instead of jointly is not eligible to convert a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. And that puts the end to our emails for today. Now, I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Roar, 1776 Radio, and MyCast Live Radio in countless terrestrial stations worldwide every Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and on 405 Media Radio Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Podomatic, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. It's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. On my next show, we're going to do a tribute to Bruno Serrato, Meals for Homeless Children. What a magnificent man he is. And John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, can be talking about food and wine. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. Don't forget to join me again on Monday for another installment of Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. In the meantime, I want you to stay safe. I want you to be happy. I want you to make everybody's life better because you're in it. And I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And good night, everybody.